Picture the North Sea in the 9th century. The waves crash like war drums. Longships cut through the fog, and on the prow stands a man whose beard alone could inspire terror. His name was Ragnar Lothbrok. Part history, part legend, and all beard. Was he one man? Or was he a mix and potentially several Viking kings woven all together by sagas? We may never know for certain, but what is undeniable is this. The tale of Ragnar's beard is the tale of Viking ferocity itself. Welcome back, everybody, to another Beardtory. And this is a pretty interesting one. You've heard of Ragnar because of potentially some new shows that have came about over the last several years. But there is a tale, there is a myth, there is a man. And that myth, that man, he's got a beard. And that's what we're here to do. We're going to break down the Beardtory. And at the end of it, we're going to rank his beard and see where he ranks amongst all the beards that we have done so far. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. Because the sagas say that Ragnar was born around the early 9th century, son of the Swedish king Sigurd Ring. But here's where things get a little tricky. Historical documents, they don't line up neatly. Some medieval sources suggest Ragnar was really a blend of various Viking leaders, men, who led the 845 siege of Paris, and other warlords whose stories became stitched together, all into one bearded myth. Still, the name Lothbrok, or hairy breeches, stuck. Supposedly, Ragnar crafted trousers made from animal skins and tar, designed to withstand poison from serpents. That's where his legend began, not as a warrior, but as a man clever enough to turn myth into armor. His beard, meanwhile, was the living symbol of this duality. Untamed and feral, but calculated enough to command respect. Historically, Ragnar, or the man behind the legend, is credited with leading raids across Anglo-Saxon England and Francia. One of the most famous moments potentially came in 845 when his Viking forces sailed up the river and, besieged Paris. Charles the Bald, king of West Francia, had no choice but to pay a massive ransom of 7,000 pounds of silver and gold to send him packing. That wasn't just a victory. It was beard diplomacy at its finest. Ragnar's personal life is as colorful as his conquests. He was said to have married the shield maiden Lagarthia, who fought off an attacking Baron dog with her bare hands. Later, he wed Aslog, daughter of legendary heroes Sigurd and Brynhildr. His sons, Bjorn Ironside, Ivar the Boldness, Sigurd Snake in the Eye, Ube, and Hivitsirk. I'm sorry if I pronounced any or all of them incorrectly, but neither of them, they weren't just warriors. They became dynasty builders. The great heathen army, which stormed England in the late 9th century, was led by Ragnar's sons, avenging their father's death. Whether Ragnar was one man or many men, his beard gave birth to a lineage of terror. And according to the sagas, Ragnar met his end in England, captured by, king of the Northumbria. His execution was as brutal as his life was bold. He apparently was thrown into a pit of venomous snakes. Yet, in true Viking style, Ragnar turned his death into legend. His last words, immortalized in the sagas, declared how the little piglets would grunt if they knew how old the boar suffers. Translation: his death was a spark, and his sons would set fire to kingdoms in his name. Even centuries later, Ragnar's legend refused to die. Chronologicers and historians and, people like Saxo Grammaticus, I'm really bad at this, I do apologize sometimes, they wrote of him. Medieval poets celebrated him, and modern pop culture resurrected him. In the History Channel's Vikings, yeah, you might have heard of it, Travis Fimmell's portrayal gave Ragnar's beard an almost evolutionary arc, from rugged farmer scruff to, full Viking king. And whether the facts or the fictional stuff is something that's going to maybe stay in your head, Ragnar's beard became shorthand for Norse power, endurance, and rebellion. So this is the time. I can't make you wait any longer and make you listen to me brutally mispronounce names of the past. We're going to go ahead and we're going to rank his beard. And as always, we're going to rank it on fear factor. We're going to rank it on wisdom points, intimidation level, thickness and wildness, and historical impact. Are you ready? I'm ready. Well, I think I'm ready. Let's go with the fear factor. Let's be honest, Ragnar's beard was more than a style choice. It was a battle flag. Enemies didn't just fear his army, they feared what his beard represented. Chaos from the sea, the end of stability, the wrath of potentially the gods themselves. So because of that, fear factor, 9.1 out of 10. Wisdom points. The sagas portray Ragnar as cunning, not just brutal. His clever snake-proof breaches, tactical raids, and ability to unify warriors under his command show wisdom as sharp as his axe. His beard carried the weight of hard-earned experience. Every strand a story. So for that, we got to go with a 9.1 out of 10. Intimidation level, there's a reason kings paid ransoms rather than fight him. Ragnar's presence was commanding, and the beard was central to that image. In Viking culture, a beard was a crown, and Ragnar's was a, coronation of intimidation, which is just kind of fun to say. You're never going to guess this, but again, a 9.1 out of 10 for intimidation level. Let's go thickness and wildness, because Ragnar's beard wasn't the thickest of all time, but it was raw, it was rugged, and it was always storm-tossed. It looked like it belonged to a man who lived on salt spray, mead, and bloodshed. It wasn't perfect, but it was perfectly Viking. For that, 8.9 out of 10 for thickness and wildness. Historical impact. Whether Ragnar was real or a saga composite, his beard left fingerprints across history, from the great heathen army's invasion to the cultural image of the Viking warrior. Ragnar's beard remains one of the most recognized in the world. Part history, part myth, all legend. So for me, 8.1 out of 10. So if my math is mathin', this brings Ragnar's beard to a 44.3 out of 50, and this is where it ranks amongst all of the others that we have ranked in the top 20 here on Beardtory. Let us know, I guess right at this point, how we did. I thought we did pretty well, but maybe we didn't. Don't worry, YouTuber comments, and you'll let me know how good or bad I did. And I appreciate that about you. With that being said, Ragnar, the man, the myth, the beard that stormed through history. Whether he was one warrior or many rolled into one, his legacy, it's undeniable. Kings, they feared him. Sagas, they praised him, and his sons carried his vengeance like a torch. But in the end, it's the beard that outlived them all. Wild, untamed, and forever etched into the image of a Viking. So next time you see a storm rolling in across the horizon, just remember, sometimes it's thunder, and sometimes, it's just Ragnar's beard. And that's all we have for another episode of Beardtory. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Guess what? We'll be back next week, and we're going to do it all over again. If you have any suggestions, let us know. You know what to do. We greatly appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day to give this a watch, to give this a listen. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody.